আজকে যেটা আমরা ডিসকাস করবো সেটা হচ্ছে ট্রানজিশন ম্যাট্রিক্স। ট্রানজিশন ম্যাট্রিক্স জিনিসটা কি? সো ট্রানজিশন ম্যাট্রিক্স বলার আগে বলে রাখা ভালো যে ট্রানজিশন ম্যাট্রিক্স থাকে মানে কোন কনটেক্সটে আমরা ট্রানজিশন ম্যাট্রিক্স জিনিসটাকে আনছি। তো ট্রানজিশন ম্যাট্রিক্স বেসিক্যালি একটা স্টোকাস্টিক প্রসেসের থাকে। তো হোয়াট ইজ স্টোকাস্টিক প্রসেস? সো xt t is more than 0 is a stochastic process. So what is stochastic process? Basically, stochastic process is nothing but the study of a random variable in some time points. So t1, t2, tn is some my time points, and within this time point, the study of my random variable. X is my random variable, and I will study the x in my time points t1, t2, tn. So this t, capital T, which is the collection of the time points t1, t2, tn, is called the set of the times, and the random variable is the x. Now, for each of the values of t, I have a study of x. That is, I have t x t1, x t2, and so on, x tn. Now, this x t1 is denoted by x1, x t2 is denoted by x2, and so on. This x tn is denoted by xn. Now, let's suppose x is a binary random variable. That is, suppose x takes two values 0 and 1 with some probability, with probability p, with probability 1 minus p. So this type of stochastic process is called on and off stochastic process, because suppose at certain point t1 I have a study of x which is 1, that is, we may think this as an on, but at similarly, and the second time point t2 I may have the study of x as 0, which may be treated as off. I may think this as my on state and this as off state. So this can be think of as a on and off stochastic process. This is the easiest, so that I can go for the transition matrix very easily. So this is my overall setup. Now see what transition matrix is. So suppose at my t1th stage I have some study of x1. Let's say it's x1, and at similarly t2th stage I have the study of x2. x1 may be 0 or 1, x2 may be 0 or 1. So I want to find if my earlier stage is x1, that is 0 or 1, what is the probability of my next stage as 0? That is, I am at x1 and I will go to x2 at the very next stage. So I want to find the probability of going x1 to x2 from each of the state of x1 to x2. So that is my transition from x1 to x2. But since x1 has 2 value and x2 has 2 value, that is, there are 4 possible ways of transition. So I can find this transition probabilities in the notation of a matrix. Let's suppose I have x1, I want to go from x1 to x2. So x1 has 2 steps, 0 and 1. I have here x1, and I have x2, which also has 2 steps, 0 and 1. So this is the element which denotes the probability that I am at 0 at x1th step and will go to 0 at x2th step. So this can be think of as P11. So what is P11? P11 is the probability that x1 x2 equals to 0 given that x1 equals to 0. So this is P12, which is at x1th step I am at 0 and x2th step I will go to 1. So what is the probability that I will go to 1 in x2th step given that x1th step is 0? So probability of 1, 2 equals to x2 equals to 1 given x1 equals to 0. Similarly, this is 2, 1, this is 2, 3. So this 2 by 2 table can be thought of as a matrix. So this 2 by 2 table can be thought of as a matrix, and this matrix is called the transition matrix. So this is my transition matrix. So transition matrix is nothing but a matrix which denotes the probability that I will be at x1 and go to the next step. So basically transition matrix may be constant but may be similar throughout the process, but maybe sometimes vary throughout the process. Basically, here x1 it will be constant throughout the process, that x1 is 0 and 1, x2 will be 0 and 1, then x3 will be 0 and 1, and so on and so forth. If the probability is the same, then it will be a constant. Now, so this is the concept of transition matrix. So transition matrix is basically, let me remove all of this. So this is my transition matrix. The rows of the transition matrix is denotes the earlier step, and the columns of the transition matrix denotes the future step. Future stage. This is my present stage. Since we are working with a two binary variable, so it is a 2 cross 2 matrix. If x1 or x will be some variable which is more than 2, which has more than 2 points, then that will be a 3 cross 3 matrix, and so on and so forth. For the simplest case, this is a 2 cross 2 matrix. So each of the element denotes the first step will be my 0th step, and the second step will be 0th step. P12 denotes the first step will be, present step will be my 0th step, and the future step will be my 1st step. P21 is the future, present stage is 1 stage, and future stage is 0 stage, and P21, 2, 3 is present stage is 1, future stage is 1. So this is my transition matrix. Transition matrix basically denotes the probability of the transitions.